If you're watching this video, you are a personal trainer, want to be one, and I was or am in your shoes. I started out 6 years ago, 360 pounds. Since then, I've dropped over 100 pounds. Got full time at Equinox, which is a gym based out of New York. Quick, within 90 days of starting it. And before those 90 days, I had never sold anything before and hadn't done any personal training. And I just want to give back and basically make a video for 6 years ago, starting out, what I would tell myself. And hopefully you can take something away from that and improve where you are. Or if you are starting fresh, I can help sort of maybe give you some tips on the best routes to take and miss out some pitfalls on spending money and wasting time that I did. So I'll start where my mindset was when I was looking at personal training. Everything that I was researching online showed from a pay standpoint that it was really low or sizably high. And it really depended on the gym that you're working at and how their payment model worked for trainers, as well as if it was open to the public or if it's strictly a training gym. My advice on this is it's a very important first step, and you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot because you want to develop really good habits, which means that you want to surround yourself with people that are a lot better than you and in places where you want to be and can envision yourself. So shoot for the high bar, and then even if you fail out of that process, you'll learn so much more than starting out at a lower paced or lower scale gym. It's the same amount of work to build up a clientele book, meeting people on the floor and calling leads and building up your clients, and then you're sort of stuck in that location because that's where those people go to the gym at. It's very hard to get people to move gyms if you've been training them for less than a year. You have to build up that trust. So choose a gym where you feel like you're going to be compensated and you see a ladder that you can work yourself up from an education and pay side of things. For me, obviously Planet Fitness, Crunch, One Life, sports clubs, those type of animals are in the same space as an Equinox or a Lifetime. The only difference is the brand of it and then the price point. So when you're looking at these gyms that are $30, $50 a month, and then you're trying to sell personal training at probably around that same mark or less, the gym is taking 75% of it probably in the beginning for the most part. And then as you do more sessions, your commission increases in that monthly period. So maybe 10, 20, 30 sessions a month, 1 hour sessions, you're only making 25% of that packet, that price that you're giving onto the customer. So I don't know what the numbers are at Planet Fitness, but I'm sure they're similar of, as a W-2 trainer, you're going to be making, $15 to $30 an hour. That's probably a pretty good range for starting at one of these gyms. Whereas an Equinox or a Lifetime, because they are more expensive, they have a higher net worth clientele. I think Equinox average client is or member is has over 100K of net worth yearly, salary yearly. So they have more expendable income, and that attracts not only a talented member base that you can learn from by training them, but it attracts a lot of great trainers. And so that's why I went that route, as well as Equinox and Lifetime. They have a lot of commitment behind furthering education of trainers. So you have to stay on top of getting your CEUs, which you'll need to renew your personal training certification. And really all you have to do to get into the doors of these places is have, you can dress in a suit to stand out and then have a personal training certification and then just, know how to present yourself in a proper way. And really they're just looking for people that are, this is what they want their main thing to be. They're not looking for a part-time, they're looking to full-time to really further their career as a personal trainer and work through the ranks of the gym business. And as long as you can show that you're motivated and that you are honest and then you're humble but hungry, they'll give you an opportunity, because in personal training, it's a low salary, low hourly wage starting out, and then you have to prove yourself by building your own clients. So if you don't put in the work and take in the learning, then your business is going to fail anyways. So it's less of a risk for a company hiring you. Just show the good core foundations and then let your work ethic and be open-minded, curious about learning. And Some of the best ways of learning is starting at one of these higher end gyms where they have higher end trainers that have been doing this for a long time. Some of the people that I started out with the Equinox have been there for 10 years, 8 years, full time, killing it, multiple certifications. And so I had the opportunity to just be very humble and walk in there and just ask to train, just to work out with each trainer one on one and just take in their aspects of training, their viewpoints, and how they think about programming, how they think about talking to clients during the session, how they think about cueing exercises and fixing form, how they operate when they're not with the client, what's their communication like? Do they have any advice on books to read? And so I was just stacking in knowledge for 2 years and built up this great understanding of how to build a strong business through people that were experienced and took their craft very serious. I looked at other gyms that weren't in that luxury fitness space, and the biggest thing that I understood coming from sports is that you want to learn stuff, as close to right in the beginning, so you don't set up bad habits, because bad habits are hard to break. But if you start out with good habits and learn how to build a successful, healthy business and personal training, you'll go a lot further than wasting your time at a place that's not pushing education, that's not inspiring you to learn more and be around people that are in spots that you want to be. So number one tip, getting into personal training, shoot for a high income gym with experienced trainers that have good staff, and then utilize those to the max. The next thing, after getting full time is how you, obviously build programs and structure workouts. So, this is where you want to make an investment, in trying to become the best trainer that you can be. And not only, surrounding yourself with great trainers and learning from them, but, I've gotten some really good book recommendations. So here's one, it's Conscious Coaching. So Conscious Coaching is the art and science of building buy-in. So getting clients to really lock into their goals and how to communicate to them. You understand it after a certification, the anatomy and physiology of the body and biomechanics, but how do you relate to someone that maybe doesn't have an understanding or doesn't even have a care in understanding? How do you relate it into layman's terms so that you can give them successful tips that are long lasting? Because with personal training, the goal is to obviously sell them, get them as a client. But if you're doing the job correctly, there will come a day where they leave you and can do their own programming, and they sort of build that passion as well. If they don't build the passion, at least they know good form. And so the way you carry over what you understand into how they understand, conscious coaching is a good one. Another one that's movement based is Built to Move. A little trippy cover. Kelly and his wife Juliet star it. So this gives really good tips on, again, layman's things that people can add from a vegetable nutrition standpoint, protein recommendations, and then a lot of mobility stuff. So they're like mobility gurus, and they focus a lot on fixing people's posture, fixing people's hips and posterior chain, and a lot of people that you'll come across with the new shift in the workforce of having scoliosis, having a forward head lean, having a lot of lower back pain, hip pain. They're usually tight and immobile. So this book really goes into easy tips that they can do in and outside of the gym and allow you to expand your toolkit on how you can fix people's problems. And then again, that's the side that we enjoy, that we have the passion, that's easy to learn. The hard stuff is the selling process. So Grant Cardone, I know he's iffy in the industry, but two of his books that I read in the beginning, they really helped me, were Sell or Be Sold. And then another one that's called 10X. So I'll start with Sell or Be Sold. It just goes into, he's a real estate guy, but how he conducts sales meetings, how he operates a team, how he breaks down to the customer what they're getting, talks about having everything on paper, making it visible so that they can see and understand from hearing what you're saying and seeing it on paper, and then how to take detailed notes during the sales process and have it streamlined. And then obviously the hard part of closing and wrapping up the whole package of like how you're helping them, where they are, where they want to be, and then you in the middle getting them to this swoop from movement, nutrition, recovery standpoint, and then package it up and like this is what that time frame looks like, and this is how the cost is, and then checking up those milestones along the way with doing body scans and movement screens. Sell or Be Sold, you can carry a lot of those tips over that. And then the 10X book by Grant Cardone is really good. It's just about mindset and goal setting. Same with Be Useful by Arnold Schwarzenegger. These books are emphasized on having a vision of where you want to be and then stay focused on that. There's a lot of different avenues you can take in fitness, but mastering a couple and really focusing on a niche, you know, can allow you to build your book a lot quicker if you know the type of clientele that you want to work with. You can sort of target them. What type of workouts they're doing in the gym. Are they in group fitness? Are they by the barbells doing powerlifting or bodybuilding? Are they more on machines? If you understand that, it'll be a lot easier to know your way in the gym and what people you want to target. 10X, Be Useful. These are good books on setting the bar high. Whatever you think your goal is, set it 10 times higher, and then you'll get a lot further in your journey quicker by having a bigger goal, because it'll add some anxiety, put some pressure and fire on you to really work 10 times harder. And it does work. If your goal, like my goal right now, is $20,000 in selling in PT a month, so I set a goal of $40,000, 2x the goal, and then it makes me think 2x everything. So I'm going to surpass that $20,000 goal quicker because I have to hire more trainers. I have to get more, fitness evaluations done, get more sessions, and it makes me work a lot harder. When you set a bigger goal, you're going to get a lot further than if you set a smaller goal and just hit that. Those books are great. Another aside from programming, I came into Equinox just looking for what's the perfect program? It's all personal based. There is no perfect program for anyone. There's a lot of carryovers that people struggle with from like ankle mobility, shoulder mobility, hip mobility, and then weaknesses and strength. The human bodies are different. The human bodies are similar, but the wear and tear that people put on their bodies is different person to person. And you'll learn that through repetition, as well as getting more certifications on how to, build a strong foundation on programming, like where to start and how to cycle through workouts, exercises, reps. So the number one personal training intro, like certified personal training certification that I would get would be NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. I did the online course. I was doing a chapter every day or two and then completed everything within 3 months. I've hired trainers that have completed it within a month or less. But that sort of gets your foot in the door of the training business. And then you're going to learn most of the stuff by hands-on practice and, again, learning from other people. But what I did was buy, Jay Cutler, who's a big bodybuilder. I bought his training program for like $20 on hypertrophy bodybuilding. Jeff Nippert on YouTube, bought a couple of his power building and push-pull legs. And then, there's a multitude of people on social media. Try and buy a few different people's styles of programming and see what exercises they're using. When are they switching things up? Reps, sets, what's the description, how they're cueing it. And it'll give you a good baseline on how to sort of structure workouts that are planning for plateaus and doing deload weeks. And then also just like when they're switching exercises, how long are they staying on an exercise before they're moving it to a different one. This will just give you a broad experience of different types of programming and then trying it out with different clients or yourself and getting more familiar with actual programming will be the long-term, like sustainable of keeping clients. But in the beginning, it's going to be tough of just putting a sales process down. But if you go to one of these, luxury gym spaces, they have really good teaching on how to do that process, and they make sure that you're prepared for the most part by the time that you have your first interaction with a client. So that would be the best advice on that. As well as some of these companies, you want to make sure that they are checking your certifications, that they're making sure that they're up to date. It's just a checks and balances that make sure that like they are committed to hiring the best people as well as you taking the job serious. And that accountability will, again, set a strong foundation that will take you a lot further than going in a place that's more lackadaisical. A lot of people get into personal training because they don't want to do a 9 to 5. They don't want to sit at a desk and have a set 8 hours. But with that is the responsibility of keeping up with, multiple different people that are your clients they have their own lives. So they are usually working 9 to 5s for the most part. So you're working in the early mornings, in the evenings. The best thing to do in the beginning is try and just be at the gym as much as you can and then be a mayor at the gym. This is the number one thing that I do at every gym that I work at. And it always pays dividends. Just say, be at the front desk if you can. Just walk up when you're cleaning the gym, walk around to everyone that you can, and just find an excuse to, hey, what are you working on today? Oh, nice. What's your split? What's your weekly routine? Oh, okay, cool. Are you training for anything specific? Um, my name's EJ. Where are you from? Like, what's your name? It's really simple, and I've had that same conversation with a lot of people because it's just a good opener of, it's not, you're not asking for anything. You're just, trying to meet the people at your gym and see where their needs are and seeing if maybe you can help them, or if not, just have a friendly face that you say what's up to and have conversation every day. Don't overthink it. Go in there to make sure that, people are safe, lifting, carefully with good form, and then I found that my favorite clients are early in the morning. They're the most committed. They're always on time. They always they're waking up before work to come and work out. So they're taking it serious, and then it makes your job a lot more enjoyable because you understand that they are making you a priority in their life and health a priority in their life, and so it makes you more inspired to program really great. Stay on top of them on terms of like their progress and whatever their goals are. And then if you do an Equinox, I'm not sure about Lifetime, but Equinox for sure, you can get a precision nutrition certification, so you can become a certified nutritionist. Beyond that, I would get a nutrition certification so you can speak more on nutrition. If you don't, it's a legality issue. You can't give out meal plans. You can't really touch on nutrition more than general advice. And that's, over a third of what the whole process of changing someone's body and mind into a better person. Nutrition is a big part of that. So getting nutrition certification and then watching a lot of videos and reading any literature that you can on understanding like macros, the different diets, building a maintenance calories, understanding the metabolism and how to reset the metabolism, what the targets are for carbohydrates, fats, protein, and then how to find a good calculator online, macro calculator, calorie calculator, and then use your certification and the knowledge that you'll be learning to sort of structure that. But I think that's like a step 3 thing. Step 1, get your training certification. Step 2, listen to podcasts. Like I love Joe Rogan's podcast. Listen to podcasts of people speaking that are in the nutrition space, so you understand how they're explaining it. You can see the newest science, but also listening to podcasts that like Joe's where they're curious people and it's a lot of different talking, because personal training after the first couple weeks with a client is like a therapy session. And so the better that you can relate to people and become, good friends with them and someone that you care about and they care about you, that's how you have long-lasting relationships with training. It's more than just a business transaction, and that's how you sustain a business. But starting out, again, number one thing, go learn from the best. Don't settle, and set the bar uncomfortably high with all your goals. And have a vision. When you're coming into a gym and doing an interview and they say, do you have any questions? Do not be the person that doesn't have any questions. Go look up some questions. Just research, on Indeed, on LinkedIn, what the reviews are of these companies, and then asking, how do I come in with a running head start? Who are the best trainers that I could learn from this? What's the ladder look like on increasing my role and responsibilities in the company? And have you want to become a personal trainer, but always be open-minded on, what else can you learn? Can you learn the business side of a gym? Can you learn the business side of personal training and managing personal trainers? Soak up as much information as you can, and it'll give you a better, vision on where you want to end up. And so you can, really lock in over time and perfect your craft in what it is, whether it's managing people, whether it's managing a personal training business, owning a gym. It all starts from being a personal trainer, understanding how a business runs. And if you have a good manager, they are going to spend time with you, teaching you, and then surround yourself with great personal trainers, and you'll be successful. Just stay into the craft. A lot of people quit within the first 2 years, but if you can just stay learning, stay committed, stay fitness, stay trying stuff on your own, and then backing up with science and literature, and then putting that on your clients. And the whole thing with sales, it gets a bad rap. People think of like car salesmen, but if you know your stuff and you're authentic and honest with the person sitting across from you on where they are and where they need to be and the realistic timelines and goals and changes that they need to make in their life, It's just about building that trust and, knowing knowing your craft, and you do that by repetition. So best of luck. If you can find me in any of my contacts and you need more help or want to set up a call, please let me know. I'm always looking to help people and hire if you're in the South Florida area. But beyond that, just keep learning, stay curious, and set the bar uncomfortably high, and you'll end up in a great spot. Have a great day. Peace, humans.